お前はもう死んでいる。何?
Initial D!
Hello everyone, Nismospoolin here, everyone's favorite internet nobody. Ex-professional video game player, FPS enthusiast, and as many of you might know that have either known me in real life or watched my videos for quite some time, automotive enthusiast as well. I love cars, and I love racing. Throughout the years, I've taken part in many different disciplines of auto racing, and I've worked on cars, and I've done all the things. Cars and automotive, motorsport, whatever you want to say it, are very near and dear to my heart. And when I have the money to do so, I do like to stay drifting, and I do like to do all the things that I can possibly do to stay sharp and to make sure that I don't lose that edge of whatever I want to do. Mainly drifting. Drifting is my thing. I really do love it. It's something that I've been passionate about since I've been able to drive cars. I would say, I don't know, probably 15, 14 years of driving and whatnot. I've enjoyed and loved the auto sport of drifting. It's my favorite. But with financials not being in a great place at the moment, I can't do drifting. But what I can do is I can do sim racing and I can do some karting. Thanks to my neighbor who has a couple of racing karts and just a passion for karting, as I have a passion for drifting. And he came over a couple of months ago and he said, do you want to go race some karts? And I said, absolutely, I would love to go race some karts. And we packed up and we went to Bushnell Motorsports Park. And we've been doing it once or twice a month for the past 3 or 4 months. It's been an absolute blast. Now, I wanted to make this video as kind of a vlog, but man, vlogging is difficult, especially when you're out with somebody else and you want to be able to put your you want to be able to concentrate your efforts and your attention on the task at hand and the people that made it happen. You don't want to be walking around with a camera in front of your face the entire time, because you're just going to ignore the people that, put forth the money and the effort to get you there. So I tried my best to get as much footage as I could and really do the vlog style thing. I'll get better at it as I go, obviously, but for right now, this is what I got. We're going to go to Bushnell Motorsports Park. We're going to do some karting. I'm going to show you guys around the karts. We'll talk about it and stuff like that. And let me know if this is something that you'd like to see. If this is content that you're interested in. And I'll talk over some of it and talk about the laps and how the kart behaves and stuff like that, and how we set the kart up to do what it's doing. You guys should just obviously let me know if there's anything that I missed that you guys would like to see, or things like that. And as we go with something like this, I could do gaming here and I could do karting there. And as we get bigger and as we do more things, I'll be able to incorporate more automotive stuff into it. So if I can ever get back into a chassis, if I can ever get back into building a car and I can get back into drifting, we'll put that in there as well. And we'll mesh it together, and seamlessly and nicely, so that we can have gaming, drifting, karting, all the automotive goodness and gaming goodness in one channel where we can all hang out and we can all enjoy it together. So sit back, relax, and enjoy some karting goodness. Now, here's the two karts. 416 is my neighbor's kart. He's an older fella. I think he's in his 60s. And he, even at his age, still gets out there, still goes out karting. And I'm telling you, these things throw you around. There's no suspension besides the tire wheels to speak of. And this guy just still goes out there and he rips. Like, he'll throw out some lap times that are just fantastic for the size of the engine that are on these karts, and his age. He just absolutely kills it. He's an he's a remarkable driver. And then the 000 kart is the one that he has me using. This one is set up almost exactly the same as the other kart, except for this. The one he's using is a Briggs & Stratton 206, and this one has a Tillotson engine, which is from what he was telling me, it's a Chinese racing kart engine. It's not very commonly used around here in America, not just yet, but it gets up and it boogies. 4-stroke, so you don't have to add any oil to the fuel or anything like that. I think he was telling me that the track that we go to only allows the use of MG tires. So he uses MG Reds on both karts, and he has karts for other purposes too. He's got the 2 dirt track karts as well, and I don't know anything about the dirt track karts, but maybe he'll take me out in one of those one of these days, and we'll learn more about it. But as far as what we got going right now, the 2 asphalt track karts, the racing trailer, and off we go. Now, I wouldn't necessarily say I'm like super competitive, not just yet. I haven't done a lot of the karting, and I don't have a lot of practice in it. He hasn't taken me out to do any kind of like races or anything competitive just yet. Right now it's just been practice and adjusting the karts and setting things up in different ways, you know, so I can get a more hands-on idea of what it takes to bring a kart to a track and make it competitive. He doesn't want to just throw me in a kart and go racing and expect me to do well, because he knows better than I, knows that's just not going to happen. So what we've been doing is we've just been going down to Bushnell, and we've been adjusting things, changing gear sets, messing with axles, tires, tire pressures, all that kind of stuff, and just seeing how it feels and how the kart reacts. I don't have any official lap times for things that I do yet, because the kart that he's using has like a Chronos, or a little computer that he has on his steering wheel that he can set his lap times on. The kart that he has me using doesn't have one of those on there, so I don't know officially what any of my lap times are, but from what I've been able to gather, but from watching back some of this footage and timing myself, my fastest lap that I've gotten is 60.72 seconds per lap. And then, you know, I've got 61s and 62s peppered in there. And yeah, that's just kind of what we've been doing. It's just practicing and setting things up and doing things, you know, laying the foundations to be more competitive and more experienced karting driver. Now, as you can see here, I'm chasing him down. That's my neighbor up in front of me there, and we've just kind of gone out, and he's gone out and ahead of me, and I'm trying to catch him just to see how I do in an environment where I've got to, you know, catch someone and I've got to pass him. So I've just been chilling up behind him for a little bit, and in a corner or two here, I managed to sweep up inside him there. But this isn't indicative of how it always goes with me and him. He is incredibly fast. I think he's still warming up his tires at this point, because the track was pretty dang cold, and I managed to heat my tires probably a lap faster than he did, so I was able to attack corners a little bit better. And then here we have one of my faster laps. It's really hard for me to time it, because the way my GoPro decided to record, it cut this outing into 2 bits, and I had to time myself starting from a different point in the track other than, you know, the start finish line. But this is towards the end of the day, where I was starting to get a little bit faster, a little bit more confident in the tires, a little bit more confident in when I can stay flat out and when I have to lift, or when I have to trail brake or whatever. So out here I'm holding a little bit more booty, and I'm hitting more of the rumble strips, and I'm trying to stay more flat out through more of the corners. But as you can see, the tires, or the rear tires rather, step out really often. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do to remedy that. I think a softer rear axle, a little bit wider track length of whatever I can run on this track legally without being, you know, something that I'm still able to do and use in races. and lowering the tire pressures and changing the gear sets is going to change up this lap tremendously. But for what we've got here is basically the same gear set I've been running on all day and the same tire pressures I've been running on all day. And this is the fastest lap I managed to get out of that. And as you can see from what you saw earlier to what you're seeing now, I'm able to get a lot more speed running up to the corners, and I'm braking a lot later and going through a lot of these, like the chicanes and stuff like that. I'm going flat out through all of them. I'm going in way deeper and coming out way shallower. I do get passed here by a two-stroke kart, but that's not, you know, there's nothing I could do against the two-stroke kart. That thing holds booty, so I'm just kind of doing my thing with my 206, trying to put in the best lap that I can. As you can see, the tires are starting to get a little more shiny on the outside, and they're starting to flick up more of that rolled rubber. So you can tell that they're getting more and more heat in them, and you can see that I'm barely ever lifting, just when I come to these like tight hairpins and stuff like that. But every time I get to a tight hairpin, the back is stepping out. And it's not stepping out a tiny bit, it's stepping out throughout most of the corner. And because of the gear set that we have, it bogs a lot coming out of those corners. But for what is set up on these karts, I managed to get a 60-second lap time, which is the best I've got. And from what my neighbor was saying, that's a podium on any given race day with these karts. So I'm pretty happy with that speed and how I performed on that kart set up the way that it was on that day. And there you have it. Just a lovely day out karting with my neighbor. I'd like to get more competitive with it. I'd like to do more stuff with it. And it would be more feasible for me to do this more often and get deeper into it with your guys' support. So like, comment, subscribe, or dislike, because I guess it doesn't really matter if you dislike anymore because YouTube's getting rid of the dislike counter. So do whatever you want to do, but let me know down there in the comment section if this was cool, this was neat. See if I could do more interesting stuff with it in the future. But as for right now, I appreciate you guys watching and you guys commenting, and stay tuned for more content, whether it be video games, racing, karting, whatever you guys want to see. And I'll see you guys next time.